Hi, this is Pastor Ted Marshall. Welcome to today's devotional. Today it's going to be a kind of unique devotional because there's a lot of personal things that we're going to be able to talk to you and tell you about. This devotional is based on a devotional that appeared in Daily Bread, and I'd like to thank the inspiration that John Blaze wrote about this. And we're going to be going over some Bible verses that I'd like for you to I'm going to share with you. And that'll be in the book of John and verses 15, 1 through 8. So let's go ahead with the verses and we'll come right back. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me and bears no fruit. While every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine. You are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up and thrown into the fire and burned. If you remain in me, my words remain in you. Ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit, showing yourself to be my disciples. In this devotional, the title of this is We Need Jesus' Help. And the first part of the devotional we're going to read to you, and this is what John Blaze was talking about. It says, the day finally came, the day I realized that my father was indeed instructible. As a boy, I knew his strength and determination. In my early years, he injured his back, and I realized that my father was mortal. After that all, I stayed with him to help him out a bit and assist him, and guide him even a glass of water to his mouth. It was humbling to him, and it was very humbling to me also. He eventually recovered his strong self, but the experience taught both of us an important lesson. We need each other. Now, when it had happened, and the rest of the story, when he was injured, he went to his hometown hospital. I was on a plane to him right away as soon as I heard. He had fallen from an oak tree. He was trimming in his yard. And the rest of the story is he lost his balance on the tree with his two golden retrievers watching him at the base of the tree. He could have dropped the saw and grabbed the tree, but he saw the saw would hit the dogs, and he held onto the saw and fell and broke his back. When I got to the hospital, he was laid out straight on a table in the emergency room, and he had been there for several hours. They were keeping him in quiet, and the first thing I did, let him know I was there, and I rubbed his feet. And I said, Dad, can you feel this? And he said, yes, I can. And after that, the doctors came in, and we told him. And he said he should be all right. His back is broken. He's going to have to go in a body cast. The strength that he had as a young man is shown in this photograph next to me here, and that's the photograph of him as a frogman. Now, growing up wasn't easy with him. He had high expectations, and as a young man, as a young boy, I would run along the beach with him and exercise and swim with them and try to keep up. I never could. But just the things that are important to us and things that we need to remember that are so important is that strength not only comes from your inner strength, as we talked about earlier, but the Lord gives us strength beyond what we could ever imagine. Seeing that we needed each other, seeing that even in an older age and as a young man, that seeing him laid out helpless on a table and not knowing if he was going to be able to walk again was scary, absolutely scary. But the Lord was there. I didn't know it at the time, but he was there. He had a plan for us. He had a plan for him. He was eventually put in a body cast, and he was brought home. And when he was brought home, he stayed in the living room. They had a special hospital table or bed for him, and he stayed in the living room. And people could come over and see him anytime. He wasn't going anywhere. And so he was there, the TV was there, the living room, and everybody would come over and see him. Friends, neighbors, relatives, all that hadn't seen him, just come over and spend time with Bill and talk to him. And I think that did a lot for him also. I believe the crustiness, the self-reliance, the stubborn bullheadedness that he had, I think was softened when he saw how much people cared and that they didn't have to come see him. He didn't have to have people constantly there every day. They had nurses and so forth that came in and took care of him and changed everything that needed to be changed. But just company, having somebody there besides a TV set. Oh yes, those golden retrievers didn't leave his side either. They stayed right beside him. I think they knew that they owe a lot to this guy, a lot more than they would ever understand. We owe a lot more to Jesus Christ than we'll ever understand. From World War II to Vietnam, veterans and a kinship that we had between my father and I will last for eternity. And I know where he's at. I made sure of that. I made sure of that as a pastor. I know where he's at. And he's right here in my heart, and he's also right there in heaven. Because I can talk to him. I can hear him. I can feel him inside. Just the way I can feel Jesus Christ in my heart and inside. And you can feel that way also. Open your eyes, open your heart, get rid of the strong superhuman that you think you are, because you're not. Without the love of Christ, without the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, just like that vine, you're nothing. You're nothing without him pruning you, caring for you, nurturing you, and have you grow. This is Pastor Ted Marshall with VRM, Veterans Radio Ministry. Thank you for listening to us today. And do us a favor, if you would, pass this on. Pass this devotional on. If you'd like to know more about our radio station, go to our website, veteransradioministry.com. You can also listen live there. You can click on and listen live to our radio station, which is on 365 days a year, 52 weeks, 7 hours, 24 hours a day. And you'll be able to listen to us. And go to our YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble channels and be able to see us there at veteransradioministry.com. Share that with your friends. We don't have a huge budget to advertise. What we do have is the word of mouth. And the word of mouth through the inspiration of Christ, which will help us spread this worldwide. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.